Hey there. Although I am involved with CADAC, the Center of ADHD Awareness Canada, the views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the participants and do not reflect those of CADAC. And now, cue the music.
This is the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, Andre Brisson.
Hey there, it's Andre here with another short for the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, the podcast for the high-achieving ADHD entrepreneur. This episode is brought to you by CADAC, the Center of ADHD Awareness Canada. You can get more information and you can donate at www.caddac.ca. This past week on Monday, you heard me talk to Kathy Colby about the Colby wisdom and conation, which is the third part of the mind, the conative, how we do things. And that was episode 95. I recommend that you listen to it if you have not. It's fantastic. Once I understood how I did things, it validated me and it explained exactly how I attack a problem every time as long as I'm free to be myself. And in her words, Kathy's words is, everyone is equal but different. We all do things differently, but we do everything equally, and we're all equally creative in our own unique ways. And this is one of the tools that helps you identify that. Combined with other tools that I use frequently, is a powerhouse of you understanding your strengths and talents and how you're going to attack problems and enjoy yourself. So I just wanted to share with you briefly. Colby, I was introduced in 2011 when I joined Strategic Coach, an entrepreneurial coaching company. We meet quarterly with like-minded people and we learn a lot. But when I took the Colby, it was pretty cool. It was interesting. But I didn't get its full appreciation and power until I actually applied it to my team. I had my team do it. It really taught me how to communicate to people. Just because I require a lot of information or in a certain way, I can't expect everyone to be the same way. I can't expect that how I want to receive information is how they want to receive information. How I do things is how they do things. How they see and assess risk and uncertainty is different, and how they deal with the physical world. This is what really opened my mind. So what I learned was how to communicate to people differently to suit their strengths and their talents. So what I wanted to share with you is my Colby A index result. I am an 8255. I am an 8 fact finder. I'm very specific. My way of doing things is to specify, right? So fact finder is how I gather and share information. Remember, it's gather and share, and I specify. So I require a lot of details. I share a lot of details. Okay. Now, when that's my initiating mode is fact finder. Now, the people on the opposite end of the action mode of counteract, they require bullet points. They just require a little bit of information to get moving. And at times, if I over specify and provide too many details to a counteracting fact finder, they don't have enough mental energy to take it all in. So they will actually not hear it because their brain's not taken anymore. My follow through, how I organize things. My way, I'm a 2 follow through. So I counteract and follow through. So the way I organize is I adapt, right? My organization system is kind of random. I can go down, have a general plan. I can go down the road and say, oh, I got an obstacle. I can see other paths and I can take it. While people on the opposite, like a lot of my engineers, they're follow throughs. It's very systematic and organized. They will follow steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in that order. For me, I can start a project because I don't have enough information for 1 and 2, but I'll start at 3. And then I'll go back to 1 and 2 when I got that information. Or if I start going 1, 2, oh, wait a minute, I can skip over 3 because I don't think it's very important, or I don't want to deal with it. It's unnecessary. I can skip it. I don't need to follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then for me, when it comes to construction projects that hit a railroad, there's a project or a problem on site, my follow through is very handy because I can go in there and say, oh, we've hit this obstacle. Everyone who's a follow through is going to go, oh, but the next step has to be 4, has to be 4. So I can go in there and say, oh, okay, 4 is not going to work. I got to come up with a new 4 or a possible couple 4s that can bring them back to step 5. but I got to convince them that that step's going to do well, right? I can see that. I can deal with that. While a lot of people can't. Nothing wrong with it. My office, I need follow-throughs or nothing's going to get done. That's the reality of it. I do not get involved in project planning because if I am, every day I show up, I change the path. I just came up with a new way to do it quicker. I just came up with a new way to do it faster. And then these guys are going, oh, he changes it again. Then they got to sit down and replan and organize everything so they can buy into the process to get it done. So now all I do now is, okay, this is a general idea. You guys plan it. I stay out of it until they have a problem and they hit a wall. Then I come in, show them an alternate path. They buy it. They're happy. I leave. Perfect. Once we understood that our projects are going out quicker, efficient, we're making more money, and they're less frustrated because I'm not there changing it for them. But try to put me into the mold, into a rigid process, I will fight that because I always like to find shortcuts, better ways, and quicker ways of doing it. But to be physically tied or restricted, it doesn't work for me. So we all have to understand that. Now, quick start, the third action mode, it's how I deal with risks and uncertainty. And when I say risks and uncertainty, I don't mean a risk like skydiving. That's a risk I might get hurt. Depending on the person, a risk is anything. For some people, it's a risk to just go into a room of strangers, to go there and talk to people. They're uncertain about what's going to happen in there, or a cold call. That kind of risk. Not knowing what the outcome will be, it's a risk for a lot of people. So for me, I'm a 5. My way of doing things in the quick start action mode is to modify, or another term I like to use is experiment. I like to experiment. I like to kind of keep things on the status quo, but at the same time, I don't mind trying things. So I'll modify systems. I'll modify facts. I'll just modify risk and uncertainty. So if something happens in the site, I'm not overly worried. I'm not overly upset about it. I can improvise and come up with some alternate solutions, which has a bit to do with fact finder and follow through in there. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with some change. I'm okay with some uncertainty and risk. While people who are counteracting, they really want to manage chaos. They want plans A, B, C, and D, and E. In case A doesn't happen, they know they can jump to B. And then if B doesn't happen, then they know they got a C planned. That just means they're prepared. They're more prepared. While the initiating quick start is a lot about improvisation, a lot of new ideas, always brand new stuff, new ideas and brand new stuff, possibilities to do things. But at the same time, it's great to have the new ideas, but at the same time, we still need the people to hold the reins and say, okay, that's a great idea, but we can't do it in 2 days like you believe. We need more time. So let's stop and think about this and lay out a plan so we can execute it and get it done. Again, alternate strengths, each have their abilities and their positives, and to work together, to get stuff done together. I'm a 5 implementer. An implementer is an action mode, is how I handle space intangibles. Okay, for me, I restore. I'm a repair. Okay, 1, 2, 3, the counteracting implementer is very conceptual. You do not need sketches. You do not need models to understand a concept or to think a concept, or you can visualize in your head almost. Okay, and then the implementer, the initiating implementer, they require models to problem solve and to get an idea of what's going on. So let's look at a mug. Right now, I can explain to you, I got a Lego mug right here. It's light blue. I got a few Lego pieces. They're 4x4 cubes, 4x4 plates. I got a 2x3 plate. I got this saddle type clip, and I can put them in and out, and it holds about 8 ounces. And okay, for the conceptual people, you can visualize it. You have an idea. Now, for the initiating implementer, right now, they're still trying to process what that is. They're trying to make what I just said in words conceptually into something real, tangible. So there's a challenge with that. And I learned that with my implementer engineer. I wasn't giving them enough time to make it real in their head, so I needed more pictures. So the best scenario for this is for them to actually hold the mug and touch it and see and take it off and off. Because if it's a cheap plastic, which they'll see it is, they're not going to like it too much. They'll just throw it away because they're all about quality, top quality materials for the solutions. So for me, I'm right in the middle. I'm conceptual, but a lot of times I still need an actual model so I can get a better understanding of the concept and that. But then after that, I can talk conceptually. But for me, I'm really good at Band-Aid solutions. I can make it a good solution that'll last, but it's not top quality or top accuracy. While an implementer will really want to make sure we use the right materials, we use the right time, and then that solution will last eternity. So they want to make sure that the solution is top-notch, top quality, so it'll last for eternity. Me, I don't need it to be eternity. As long as it lasts 100 years that buildings are meant to be designed for, I'm good with that. It might not be the ideal or the perfect solution to repair in the construction field, but it works. It might not look nice, but it works. That's my 8255 in a nutshell, my Colby. And then for me, I'm very good at gathering facts. I can adapt and change past. I just need a general idea of what I want to do to be organized and go. I'm really good at assessing risk. I can experiment. I'm okay taking some risks, but I like to make sure things are a little stable. And I can repair and restore the tangibles, and I can work with conceptual people and with implementers, almost like an interpreter for sorts. If this is interesting to you, honestly, I can go on for long. This is one of the longer shorts, and I apologize for that. But this was a key moment in my life when I learned my Colby, and I learned how to use it with my team. And I've been certified for a very long time, and I'm passionate for helping other people understand how they do things. These are stuff that you will do, what you're willing to do, and what you won't do. And if you understand these, as an ADHD entrepreneur, you can identify things you should not be doing, and the things that you're told is doing wrong, you've been doing it right because that's how you work. If you're interested in this, please give me a call. I would love to help you identify your Colby index and help you move forward to spending the right time on the right tasks and in the right way. Thanks again for listening, and I'd love to help you. Just reach out anytime, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by Andre Brisson. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.